Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hello and welcome once again to Soup Shot Entertainment Quick Shot Reviews Talk is Cheap podcast. However you're listening to this, thank you very much for joining us for this review. So this is the first film I've seen in 2024, and January is also known as bin month because it usually features a lot of films that studios just no longer care for. And this is a prime result of that. It was the same straight after COVID. There was a lot of films being released that probably should have just gone straight to streaming services. This is definitely one of them. I feel like it probably would have got a cult following if it was on sort of Shudder or something like that, but the fact that it was released in the cinema, and I will say this for it, the cinema was full. It wasn't full by the end of it, and I'll explain why, but the cinema was actually full for this one. I think a lot of people were excited about it. Producers of Megan and other things as well. I've come to realise something, and if a film says it's from the producers of Megan, then I shouldn't go and see it. But I will, because that is something I enjoy doing. I like rubbish horror movies, and straight off the bat, this is one of them. It's directed by Bryce Maguire, and it stars Wyatt Russell, Kurt Russell's son, who has zero personality in this film. He plays an ex-baseball player who's been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Obviously, he's had to retire. One of the things that has been suggested for him is that he goes swimming. They find this house, which is on the market for a sum that, well, it's too good to be true. And usually, if it's too good to be true, it's a horror movie that has got something wrong with it. The pool tries to drown him before they even buy it, and they still buy it. Stupid decision number one. A lot of the stuff as well, it happens in the day, yet the film is called Night Swim. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of the score when the underwater scenes are happening, it's beautiful. Some of the shots are absolutely wonderful as well underwater, and it's beautifully realised, but it's lacking everything else. It's a case of style over substance, and this film is not bringing together anything new. It does obviously allow a newer director to jump in with newer actors, which is nice, but they are working with nothing, literally. There's a brief glimpse of where the whole problem lies, and apparently the pool is built on a natural spring, which used to do stuff to people, and that's why it stays warm. It's naturally heated. I mean, that sounds pretty cool, to be fair. But then there's scenes that are borrowed from all sorts of other horror movies that do it better, like the boy played by Gavin Warren, plays Elliot Waller, sticks his hand in the drain. and it's got that shot from inside the drain. You know something's going to happen. There's someone talking to him, and it's just like, oh my gosh, this is just it, isn't it? Right, think of your own ideas, guys. Come on, come on. There's got to be some shred of horror prowess left in Hollywood or anywhere else for that matter. I've seen some really good horror movies that people have also sort of given bad reviews, but this one seems to be like in the middle, and I don't quite understand why. I was so bored. I picked out exactly what was going to happen within 5 minutes. It was so obvious. It was cookie cutter, and I used that phrase not lightly. It was exactly by the book. Hey, look at this. Let's bring like one of those websites that you pull in the elements and you make a website and it looks nice, but it's not really a website. It's more a blog. And this is pretty much it. It's not a website. It's a blog. And like I say, the visuals are good. Never really had a swimming pool based horror movie. I mean, we had Swim Fan, and there were some other horror movies that use swimming pools to better effect, might add. But yeah, this just isn't good. I would not recommend going to see this film at all. Like I say, apart from the visuals and apart from the score, the music, it's nothing. It's 2.5 hours of nothing. It could have been cut down a lot. Bearing in mind, this is a film adapted from a 3-minute short that also wasn't very good, but James Wan bought it in 2018. He bought the rights to it, and in 2024 we get a feature-length film. I think what it was trying to do is be like Jaws. Okay, right. So Jaws gave people a fear of going in the sea. Psycho gave people a fear of going in the shower. Night Swim will give people a fear of going to the cinema. I think it was trying to go for we're going to give people a fear of going swimming. It didn't work. It's a bit ridiculous, and I have watched some absolutely ridiculous horror movies, including Killer Sofa and Llamageddon. But the difference between them, they know, they know they're not good. They know they're more comedy horror than horror, and there's nothing worse than a comedy horror trying to take itself seriously, and this is exactly what this is. I feel like if it was a horror to try and make people laugh a bit more, a bit ridiculous, a bit serious, etc., etc. Evil Dead did this really well. Then it would be much better. It would be appreciated more. But it's taking itself way, way, way too seriously, and it's lacking in horror imagination. The build-ups weren't great for the things, and the actors just seem to dial it in, including Kurt Russell's son, which is crazy because his dad was in one of the best horror movies ever made in The Thing by one of the best directors in horror cinema, John Carpenter. This is not one of those things. It is not great at all. It is just there. And that's pretty much it. Do I recommend going to see this one? Absolutely not. There's plenty of other films that are coming out that are much better. I still haven't gone to see Ferrari. I've just been to see Poor Things, which was good, and I'll be doing a review of that next week. So please join us then for more quick shot reviews for Talk is Cheap podcast on Cheap Shot Entertainment. It gets rather complicated, but thank you very much for joining us, however you've joined us, and I will see you next week. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Bye.